Okay. Looks like things are alright. I want to probably increase this. Yeah, this is way too low. There, it's showing a bit better now. Okay, so been a while. I got to start with World 14 practice, and then run through each level in World 14, and then do World 14 in virtual world speedruns, just to see how fast I can get, and then we'll move on to World 15. My mouse. What is that? Okay. So, alright, 14.1. I should pick up my charts. There we go, it's better. Alright, 14.1. There is one thing I wanted to check with 14.1. So I've routed World 14 already. I just haven't done a full run of World 14 as of yet. I did want to optimize this one part of the auto-scroller. I found a setup to get through these boosts quite consistently now, which is good as Big Mario. And now it's just this part. So this is the end of the level. And even though this is an auto-scroller, the end of this level is very much not an auto-scroller. And we are trying to go as fast as possible. Because the screen will scroll slowly at half a pixel every frame, or a pixel, moving at 1 pixel every 2 frames. Until the screen gets to here, and then we can sneak through here. But I wanted to optimize actually getting past this kind of, getting down here as fast as I can. Because I've just kind of been falling off this ledge, which is, it's not that slow, but it could be faster. So essentially I just want a visual cue to like jump and make it down the ledge quickly. So yeah, I'm already too late here. I'm trying to think what I can use as a cue. Just looking and... okay. The other thing about the situation is I'm also going to want to duck jump. Or maybe I don't have to duck jump if I'm spinning with the star. Because spinning with the star kind of makes you smaller. I don't know how much smaller. I can't tell if that's the same speed. But yeah, the idea is I want to be ducked here so that I can optimize going left here as soon as possible. I would wall kick off this wall, but it's kind of off screen, so I can't. Then you would do this, and you'd have a star here, and then you'd ground pound in here to the goal. If you don't have the mushroom, you have to go round, which is slower, but which is why you have to keep the mushroom from way over here and take it for these boost circles, which can be a bit tricky. Anyway, let me just go back to trying to figure out a setup here. Why didn't that do the star running jump? Maybe because I didn't have the star when I jumped? Is that just a thing? Yeah, that is just a thing. Interesting. I didn't know that. You don't get the spinning star. The fact that you don't get the spinning star animation when you jump into it without already having the star. I don't know how much of a sense that made. Star. Yeah, the star's on the sorting action not playing. Jumping into star. Okay, so I do want to duck jump into the star probably. Or I just want to, It's gonna be tricky to normalize though, is the only thing I'm seeing here. Because the problem is, the side of the screen is technically not... I mean, it does normalize you, but it doesn't normalize you at the same time. It's just the issue is I'm going to hit the screen at a different time every time, so I'm not necessarily going to be in the same position by the time the screen gets to where I want it to be, which is like here, where I can sneak down here through this tiny gap. So, how do I optimize this? Maybe if I... what can I look for? Actually, before I look for more stuff, I should probably just figure out where the best spot to jump is. Not there. That wasn't bad. I guess the Valkyrie is not going to be too bad for this. That was a slow grip pound. Yeah, this section here is actually kind of tricky to do well. You don't have to ground pound here, and I don't think it's faster too either, but it's consistent. It just counts the momentum because you get a lot of momentum from the star. Can I just put a red coin here for now? Do something like that. But no, that'd just be kind of slow. Yeah, I think I like ground pound on this platform just for full game. I think for IL I'd do something different now for that section, but for full game I think this is probably the way to go. Okay, so what, grab style and then full jump at that spot. That's probably the best way to optimize that. Okay, so... grab style earlier. I think I remember this well enough to not need that. I might actually have a practice level for this. Okay, that's too early. Like, it's not quite there. Just like there. It's a bit annoying because I want like the screen to be far enough to the left. So there, I jumped a tiny bit early. I wonder if you just regular jump, duck, ground pound here. I wonder if that's any better, because you'll hit the ground pretty fast. I guess not. Did I release? Oh, that's the other thing. Okay. Because, yeah. So here you can see that Mario's actually hitbox is significantly smaller when it's almost like he's ducked while he's doing this star somersault jump. So yeah, that can matter for routing purposes. But yeah, if Mario wasn't like smaller and like duck size, Mario would land like as soon as I like touch the ceiling, he'd land like 2 frames after, which would let me duck jump and ground pound. But it seems like delayed duck jump's the way to go here, just because of the whole flipping animation. That's another issue where I'm wall sliding, which is not ideal. I might have to. So yeah, I think the fact that I'm wall sliding probably matters more than I'm just not hitting the timing. There we go, 292, that's a bit better. But it was kind of more like the end was clean. So disadvantages of ducking is my position is not going to be as consistent. However, that being said, there is definitely merit to ducking because it completely prevents wall sliding as a possibility. I was at 293, that was fast. Yeah, that was much more efficient platforming. Let me try the duck jump a bit more. It's a little bit awkward, but I think it's probably best just looking at these options. The other option is spin jump, but I don't like that. Oh, I forgot my... Yeah, that's fine. Wait, do I even need to duck jump if I'm somersaulting here? Can't I just jump air 12, ground pound, without the duck jump? I never tried that. But yeah, certainly a lot more to this ending than meets the eye. Didn't let me ground pound because I was too low. That does make sense. So duck jump is probably still better. Oh. Yeah, I do like duck jump here. Don't think I need to change that of this movement. Woodchuck of this wall is interesting, but it's not worthwhile. I don't think. Alright. Oh, let's not do that. And make the level impossible to beat. The problem is it's just so easy when I'm trying to like optimize this by like jumping down, it's so easy to lose time to just kind of sitting here and holding like right. it's very easy to lose the time you would otherwise gain. Yeah. Because that doesn't wall slide, and the vertical distance you have to travel here isn't actually that large. So jumping down with more speed would matter more if this distance was larger. But it's actually quite small, it's only one block, so it probably doesn't matter so much, is what I'm thinking. And I'm probably just hyper-optimizing for no reason. Like, that was good, but I don't think that saved any time at all. I think I should just run off this ledge. Yeah, probably don't do that. Yeah, that was way too early. Yeah, I wall slid there and I still got a 293. Although, granted, that is kind of very dependent on where I start the screen scroll, but... So ideally I would jump like this. I didn't realize you could wall slide out of the star spin, but it makes sense that you do. Ideally I duck jump down here. I guess the only way to not wall slide is to spin jump. That way if I'm holding the left, I will not wall slide like if I'm ducked or if I'm like in the star somersault animation or if I regular jump. Okay, I guess there's merit to spin jumping. I guess I can give that a try in that case. Oh, that's way too early. Yeah. Unfortunately, it's very easy to get your ground pound eaten here. Because the thing about ground pounds is you can't be within one block of the ground when you initiate the ground pound. Otherwise, the game just doesn't let you ground pound. And as you may have noticed, Mario is like very, very close to being within one block of the ground here. So if your air troll is not good, you just won't be able to ground pound at all. Yeah, it does look like I cannot duck jump in this somersault animation. I think I might just have to get good at doing that. As much as I don't like walking off this ledge, it seems like probably the best option. If I'm not hyper-optimizing. It's either that or spin jump off, and I'm gonna be honest, I'm probably just gonna lose time doing this spin jump. Okay, so I think that's fine. We'll just walk off the ledges per normal. We'll just write a few things down. I'm just gonna play through this once. Yeah, I'm just gonna play through this once in a moment. Actually, you know what? I don't think I even need to. I think I just want to play 14.3, honestly. Alright. So 14.3 is actually one of like 3 water levels that we end up playing in the run. And it's actually quite a bit to optimize. Mainly this mushroom grab. You want to grab it low so you don't hit that cheap shoot, so that damage boost lasts long enough to get through both skewers. You kind of squeeze between that chip shoot to make sure the skewered loads. And you can skip that checkpoint to save half a second. Then it's a question of, do you remember the movement, which I clearly do not. Yeah, I went too high. Okay, I backed up for too much. Backed up for too much, backed up for too long. Okay, I do want to land on that, right. Man, there's a lot of platform to remember in this game. I don't know what it is about this level specifically, but I'm not great at it. Just remembering what to do. I wonder if there's a more consistent way to approach that turnaround. Very slow swimming. Jump there, jump there. Okay, that's all I have to do for that section. I just need to remember those 2 jumps, and I think the rest is fine. Because even though this section's actually harder, it's a bit more practiced. And I don't have to think about the movement as much. I will say the second half of that level is quite satisfying. Yeah, I'll just run it through one more time. And then we'll move on to 14.4. And then we'll do the individual word runs. I guess you'd have to do that or something if you're gonna damage boost. I feel like it's the only way to do it if you happen to have a mushroom for this section. Okay, yeah, the end of this water section is gonna need some more practice at some point, so I'm not happy with it. Alright, let's play for 14-4, because we kind of have to. Alright. So, actually I went ahead and counted all the Goombas in this level, because they're the only things that you have to avoid via jumping. And it turns out there's like 8 in this first section, there's 2 in the second section, and then there's another 2 in the third section. Okay, that was unnecessary. Bit more in the center there. It's funny how these Goombas like bounce off of each other off screen, which means this Goomba gets to kind of walk if you leave all the Goombas alone. And you probably would have noticed that the Goombas walk at the exact same speed as the screen, so they're not actually moving anywhere relative to the screen. Mind this Goomba. Oh. My bad for having a DS off screen. So I think we're gonna see this one up once we get way over this way. Because what's gonna happen is this platform is gonna despawn when we get far enough away from it, but the 1-up mushroom isn't, and so it's gonna peek on screen. Over here. We'll see it like peek on screen like here. Yep, there it is. So I didn't let the 1-up out, but because the platform despawned, the 1-ups is below there. Okay, I can hop right here. Oh. Okay, nice. Kinda gaming. So, yeah, that's kind of a thing you can just kind of do in this game. In New Super style, or this style, you can jump off of midair, out of pipes. But it's very hard. Alright, not bad, not bad. Alright. Oh, I need to turn this heater off, it's bothering me. But yeah, I think we're just about ready to do W14 runs in a moment, so I will be back in 1 moment. Alright, that didn't take too long. So what's a good time here? Oh, let me think. World 14.4 is this is like 1 minute-ish. Actually, this is 1 minute 10. 14.4 is 2 minutes 50. 14.2 should be 20 seconds, and then 14.2 should be like 20, 30 seconds, and then 14.3 is, I want to say another minute. Yeah, a minute and 2 seconds. Alright, I don't know if I can do that all in my head. So probably something around like 6-ish minutes, 6 and a bit. I assume is how long this is gonna take. We'll have to wait and see. Might end up being low 5 minutes. I mean high 5 minutes. But I'm not sure. I don't know, as much as I don't like playing these auto-scrollers, they are nice in the actual run itself as a break, / breather from the more intense levels. Not good enough. Yeah, I'm not going to be happy if I do not get that ground pound. I will say they are not fun to practice though. I know. I do tend to get bored in them. At least 14.1's not too bad, because there's actually stuff to do in 14.1, and it's actually one of the shorter auto-scrollers. Like, the auto-scroller speed is slow, but it doesn't last that long, and there's enough to do. Like, the gameplay is actually engaging in 14.1, unlike some other auto-scrollers, where the gameplay is just kind of, I don't know, it's very trivial, I guess. That was a good turnaround. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Alright. Do you remember how to do the menuing, hopefully? Kind of slow, but it's fine. Alright, very nice. Might have to do 14.3 a few times, because this is probably the hardest one to play well. So it is like very, very easy to lose time in this underwater section because you're moving so slowly. So instead of bonking would cost you like 1 second, normally it probably costs 1.5 seconds in water because you accelerate so slow. Oh, not the best. It was acceptable there. Not nice. Okay, that wasn't as bad as I thought it was. Alright, so this is actually going to be a pretty decent time on the second run here, given I don't die in 14.4. But I'll never die in 14.4, surely. I know, I would muck around, but it's just kind of not worthwhile mucking around in a stage as unforgiving as 14.4. Because you just essentially cannot die in this level, because it's so long. And especially because I'm intentionally skipping the checkpoint, dying's even worse. Hence, the best way to play this in a speedrun setting is to actually just kind of avoid everything. Or maybe more specifically, just never jump over like these lava bubbles when you don't need to, because that's creating unnecessary risk or things to just mess up. Because even though it's not hard to jump over them, it's just kind of, you don't need to in this level, so why should you? Checkpoint skip, the actually only interesting thing about the level. At least optimizing gameplay wise. Okay, so it is going to be somewhere in the 6-minute range. So it really looks like that first lava bubble is going to fall down in this gap here, but it doesn't. Second one does, though. Hold right. I should write down that I hold right there. Oh, no. That's so bad. I might do one more run of W14, I'm not sure. Alright. Just gonna move this aside so I can stop it a bit more accurately. Alright, 6:15.0. Not bad. Probably lost half a second to a second at the end of 14.4, and I probably lost 14.2 was solid. Actually, that was not that bad, honestly. I could probably improve it by a second, but it's honestly fine. Do I want to run through this one more time just for practice sake? I think reluctantly the answer is yes. I do. See how close I can get to 6:15. I know, it's just the consistency matters so much for the speedrun. Especially for me. Because, yeah, consistency is my issue, not execution. Because, yeah, that's the IL time, for example. And no one else has the IL time for this level. Just me. Even though I'm pretty sure other people could get this if they actually tried to go for it. But still. I guess a better way to put it is my peak pace is significantly higher than everyone else's peak pace. It's just my issue is my consistency and endurance across the entire game and the whole run. To not do things like that. Okay, issue there was I was just kind of too late. And then I wanted to not bounce off the Buzzy Beetle as I was passing it by, so I jumped too high, which made the jump over the spiny pit harder than it needed to be. So instead of having like 8 frames to jump over it, I only had like 2 or 3. Okay, that's fine. I guess I'll update the pinned comment once I complete another World 14 run. You can like stand like right here and that's cool, but unfortunately it makes this mushroom harder to grab because then you have to like jump between these boos. To get it safely and still make it in time for this boo cycle. Oh. That's a funny place to wall jump. Yeah, that was really good, it's just I was too late on the duck jump at the end. Or something along those lines. Because I knew I wasn't going to be able to get the ground pound out. Nah. I'm not doing that. But yeah, I used to just kind of sit here and let the boo cycle fall. But then I realized, oh, this is kind of stupid, I shouldn't be doing this. Not because the actual boo's falling around Mario is actually dangerous. It's more just so that it makes the movement after worse. I like how much more consistent that is. Waving through those boo circles now that I have a setup that I use. Well, setup more like Visual Cue, but oh, that's so bad. Wall slide into wall clip into wall slide. Actually, wall slide into failing to corner cut into wall clipping into another wall slide. That's hilarious. So yeah, all 4 of those things lose time. Admittedly, they don't lose a lot of time, but it's funny how wrong that section can go. Oh, shoot. Yeah, probably don't do that. Okay, kind of glad I decided to do another run through World 14. Oh, you don't have to actually jump out of these boost circles at this first big boost circle as early as I do, but it's just kind of what I've always done. And another thing about trying to have really consistent movement is just generally doing stuff in the same way every time will make your movement a lot more consistent than if you were to, say, do 2 different things that you just choose between whenever you feel like it. Which is one of the reasons having preset movement is so good. Alright, now sail time. A little bit better anyway. I also wish P-speed mattered for going fast in SMB3, even though it really does not. Also, I had a moment. Oh, nice. Okay. Anyway, what was I saying? P-speed. So in the original SMB3, like the whole speedrun is, well, not the whole speedrun, but most of the levels are basically, the routing of the SMB3 levels is just all trying to get P-speed as early as possible to optimize it. And there's actually, they end up doing quite a lot of creative movement to build P-speed a lot earlier than you otherwise would normally if you had just flat round like this to get P-speed. And I kind of wish that was in this game, because it'd make the SMB3 levels way more interesting, and it'd make SMB3 more unique compared to like Super Mario World. Like, I feel like there'd be way more SMB3 levels if just P-speed making you go faster than any other style was an actual just base mechanic, like it is in the original SMB3. Alright, good. That's a bit more like it. Okay, could have been faster, but that's fine. I'm just happy to not bonk in that section, honestly. Because yeah, it's kind of tricky to find a good middle ground between speed and consistency in that underwater section. Yeah, so issue there is I floated my jump, so I ended up jumping way too late. You want to jump on this second block here. Alright. I'll try one more time, and if I don't get a good World 14 run, that's fine. I'll move on to World 15. Because I do want to actually get World 15 routed. So then, hopefully by the end of the stream, I'll only have World 16, 17, and 18 to go before I start doing World Record attempts for Mario Maker 3DS any %, or Super Mario Challenge, as it's more officially called. I don't know. I usually just say Mario Maker 3DS any % now, just because basically no random person, unless they've played Super Mario Challenge, is gonna know what on earth Super Mario Challenge is, and that it's really just the any % category for Mario Maker 3DS, or at least the equivalent to that. Hi, welcome to the stream. Just doing some practice for the time being. I don't know, this level looks quite scary, and honestly it sort of is when you're learning it, but once you know what you're doing, it's not that bad. At least I find anyway. Puppetry was late. But yeah, if I'm hyper optimizing, the pipe entries do matter in this game. Because they're not a fixed length. Unlike door transitions. Does that make it? Barely, okay. So a little bit slow, but this is fine-ish. Yeah, good, I didn't bonk. Nice corner cut. That was good. There we go. Not that bad. 3DS. This is a new 3DS XL. I forget what color this is. As in what color they call this color. I think they call this just silver, even though it's technically a bit more grey in my opinion, but you know. But yeah, this has like the extra C stick here. I don't know if I see it. It has this extra C stick and it has the ZLZR buttons for being a new 3DS. Yeah, there's actually quite a lot of models for those that don't know of the 3DS, or just the DS in general. Because there's the DSi, the 3DS, the 2DS, the 2DS XL, the new 2DS, the new 3DS XL, and then I think the new 2DS XL, and that's all of them. I might have forgotten one. I don't know honestly. There's quite a few, I guess. I said DSi, didn't I? Yeah. Oh, I missed it. Just a regular DSXL. Alright, checkpoint skip. Nice. Love pulling that off. So yeah, for those that don't know, in this game we essentially don't get any power-ups unless there's a reason to have a power-up. We don't get them, because power-ups just don't carry over between levels in this game, unlike a lot of other Mario speedruns. And so, because just the little animation, the half-second animation of getting a power-up takes half a second, it's just not worth getting if you're consistent enough at the level. And if there's no other reason the power-up would save time elsewhere in the level. Right, can I not mess up this pipe entry, please? That would be good. Alright. That's better. Got the first frame perfect, not the second. Alright, basically at the end here. Seems like this is going to be a better time than my last one of 6 minutes 15. See what this ends up being. Alright. 6:12, nice. Okay. Clearly I lost a bit of time on the menuing. But yeah, that was very clean. Alright. Awesome. It's 2.3 seconds faster. Yeah, 14.4 was cleaner, 14.1 was cleaner, and I think 14.2 was cleaner as well. I think 14.3 was about the same. So yeah, not bad, not bad. Let me quickly write. Hold right. Alright, awesome. Let me update the pinned comment and we'll get started with Word 15. No, go away. That's annoying that appears there. Okie dokie. So 15.1. Oh no, Word 15 has quite a lot of crazy strats you can put into it. I think I'm just gonna start by playing through here. Oh, I should. Why is that not charging? That's concerning if that's not charged. Hold on, just for a moment. Okay, there we go. That's better. Just wasn't plugged in properly. Alright. Not quite what you're supposed to do there. Also not what you're supposed to do. Still not what you're supposed to do, but better. Oh man. So yeah, the speedrun wise for this level, the main goal is to actually avoid fluttering with Yoshi. Or to minimize the fluttering as much as possible. So there's two ways to do that. Obviously, just don't flutter, but when you do have to flutter, you can like cut the flutter shorter to save time. And you can also attempt to do Kaiser tricks, like trying to bounce off that shell midair to prevent fluttering at the end, which I'm gonna play around with just to see if I can get that consistent enough to do in runs. Because it is really dang cool to get that shell jump off screen. It's very satisfying to pull off. However, like, it's... yeah, the issue is it's very failable and it's... will probably cost you the run if you die like that in a run at this point. And so, like... this is kind of one of the gripes I have with this speedrun, because it's like an hour and 50 minutes and 88 levels, none of which can be skipped. The whole run is extremely punishing for if you're going for hard strats. And unfortunately, the hard strats don't actually save a lot of time in most cases. Like, there's no massive sequence breaks, I would say. I mean, there's like maybe... I guess there's smaller sequence breaks, but there's no completely game-breaking ones. Like, levels that come to mind are 13.2 and 18.8. And maybe the only levels that we really do not play it as intended. 15.1 is basically intended, aside from the ending where we don't blow up the bomb at the end because having to wait for a bomb to blow up is slow. So we just go under instead. I wonder if I am starting that flutter too early or late. Man, it has been a while since I've actually tried to optimize this level. Also, if you see me tongue backwards, that's also to optimize accelerating back to full speed. So I'll do that whenever I finish fluttering, because fluttering slows you down, which means you're not at full speed. And back tonguing is a tech in this game which lets you essentially accelerate faster. There we go. No? Hold on. Let me just do this on screen just for demonstration purposes and just so I actually get the visual here. 'Cause you definitely cannot see what's going on off screen. But essentially I'm doing this. So if you spit and then immediately do a small dismount, you will bounce off of the shell. But yeah, the timing is sort of tight. It is consistent though. Oh, that's funny. So, yeah, you can essentially do that. What I was trying to do there is to do that over here to avoid fluttering with Yoshi, but yeah, no problem. Feel free to ask more questions if you wanna. Anyway. Unfortunately, I just can't justify doing this in full game. I should probably move that over there. It's the stuff I added in editor. Okay. More movement optimization. You want to land as early as you can on this platform to jump as early as possible to clear this bottleneck here. really fast. Because if I land here, well, if I'm here without any speed and I've bonked on this wall, I won't actually make it up because I'm not at running speed. But if I land earlier, then that jump becomes faster and it's easier as well. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to do the level as per usual without the cool ending, unfortunately. I wonder if I have it saved somewhere, how much that cool ending saves with the shell jump. Can I even call it a shell jump? I don't know if I can. Oh, yeah, that's not what you do. I don't know what's going on here. Maybe I'm just doing it too low, is what's going on, and so I don't get to land on the shell soon enough. You like my name? Yeah, thank you. I don't know, I thought of it one time and it just kind of stuck. I don't know. Has a nice ring to it. As for the 5, it's just my favorite number, so I decided to add that to the end of it. I know there isn't really any more lore to the name other than I like penguins and I like the number 5, so there you go, there's my name. I need to hold down for longer to cancel that animation. There we go. Not satisfied. Got to do it cleaner than that. Start was fine, it was just the second half where I kind of lost the plot in terms of not making small movement mistakes. Not the best start. There. I need a more consciously full jump there to hit the ceiling to let me fall faster. Oh, not fall fast, just fall downwards earlier. But at the same time, it's very easy to grid that too much. To trying to get speed off of these 2 question mark blocks. I mean, I'm not dead, but that's very bad. What's the backup? Just do that. Something like that. I will say it is nice to be good at mid-airs now. I can just kind of hit a mid-air if I need to. Because yeah, that required a lot of practice to get at least a decent consistency on the mid-airs. Because yeah, mid-airs are hard. There's no denying that. I mean, I guess while I'm just kind of trying not to mess up the movement, I can explain mid-airs, because why not? So, mid-air shell jump. There's two components. There's the weird throwing the shell from behind you part of the mid-air, and then there's the timing of the throw. So the weird, like, throwing the shell behind you, which is what makes the mid-air possible in the first place, is unfortunately a frame-perfect trick, where you have to release grab and then turn around on the very next frame, which is the frame-perfect part about mid-airs. And then the throw timing depends on Mario's jump arc. And the throw timing is just kind of like a shell jump, just without the wall, essentially. So the mid-air is combining both of those together, which can be very difficult to have any consistency with whatsoever. Because not only do you need to have at least some consistency with pulling off the frame-perfect input to throw the shell from behind you, but you also need to be consistent enough at shell jumps as well, to not get the input but then you did it at the wrong time so you can't land on the shell. So yeah, that's mid-airs, I guess. Alright, let's move on to 15.2. I think 15.1 is just, we do the normal movement. As much as I want to do the cool stuff at the end of 15.1, it's just not worth it. I should write that I want to bonk my head. Okay, before small plant. Alright, so this level. This is an auto-scroller, but it has a boss fight at the end of it. So, auto-scroller, you just kind of platform. You have an optional super leaf you can get. And this super leaf actually isn't slow to get, unlike a lot of other power-ups, as I was mentioning earlier. Because this super leaf can be used to save time in the boss fight. So you go through this auto-scroller. Then you have to go into this pipe because you could technically make this by flying, but it's just slower than doing the boss fight significantly. So here's the boss arena, but as you may have noticed, the exit's kind of right here. So intended way to do this is to kill Bowser Jr., steal his clown car, and then fly up to this pipe and to the end of the level. However, that's... it's not necessarily slow, it's just there's things that we can do to speed that up. Or in other words, we're not gonna completely kill Bowser Jr. in the speedrun setting unless we have to. So, I guess what I'm trying to say is there's a number of strats and I'm trying to figure out which one I want to do. So strat number 1 is this, where you lure Bowser Jr. to the top right of the screen for a bounce. So that's number 1. Strat number 2 is you grab a shell from Bowser Jr. and you shell jump into the pipe off screen. Although I think you're supposed to do the shell jump from like here or something. I don't do this because it's harder and it's not worth going for because of method 3, which is to actually just fly up into the pipe, which is why this super leaf isn't that slow, which is essentially just as fast as shell jumping. So that's method 3. And there's actually a 4th method, which is done in the individual level, or the fastest completion of this level, where this is going to be tricky, but we're essentially going to try to land on the shell midair after jumping off this cloud. You'll see what I mean in a moment. But the jump is very tight. Yeah. And unfortunately, you can't just hold right out of this pipe. It doesn't work. You do need to, like, delay holding right for just a fraction of a second, which makes it even more difficult. And then you need to be Big Mario so that you don't bonk your ceiling too early, so you don't hit the ceiling as early. Let me try that one more time. Also, is my device dying? It is dying. That's not good. This is a bit awkward. I might have to switch to my phone, so, okay. I'm just gonna stop recording with my iPad and then switch to my other device. I'm probably gonna be maybe 5 minutes, we'll see. Because my iPad's about to die, which is what I'm recording with, which would not be good. So yeah, yeah, it's just gonna be a bit moment. So I don't know if the audio is working, but clearly the camera is not working for whatever reason. Oh, it's because I have denied camera access. Oops. Alright, so there's gonna be some technical difficulties for a little moment, if you just bear with me. Okay, let me fix this camera stuff. Permissions, camera. Alright, should be back. Hopefully. Okay, it is back. Yay! Alright, good. Alright. And we're sideways again. Oops. Oh, I cannot win today, my god. Alright. So... oh... Alright. I think we're finally in business, though. I decided to restart the stream, and I figured out what the issue was of it thinking it was still using my iPad's, like, aspect ratio compared to my phone. Alright. Hooray. Okay. Alright. Oh, let's go back to Mario Maker. Alright. Alright. That did fix itself, yeah? I think. No? Did it fix itself? It didn't? What? This is so confusing, my god. What orientation does it think it's in? I do not understand. Okay. Why is my phone not staying in a consistent orientation? This is so frustrating. Please, can you, like, stay in one spot? Please and thank you. So that I can stream. Oh, God. Alright. Oh, that's tangled. Okay, whatever. Are we good now? Please. I want to play Mario Maker. I don't want to troubleshoot my stream setup or stream. I just want to play Mario Maker. That's all I want. What? It went back? Huh? Oh my god. This is just kind of sad now. Does it go back because I rotate? Really? That's crazy. It does that. Well, so my options are I stream with a really small screen, or I just end stream. This really sucks. Well, let me just have Bowser Jr. do stuff in the background. I could try to restart stream again to see. I might as well try. Hold on. No, not that. My god. Please stop. Alright. Are we sideways again? Yes or no? We are sideways again. God damn it. Not like this. It's annoying. I have to like move my setup around when it's like this. Alright. Are we good here? Is everything behaving now? It's small screen again. Why does it do this? I'm so perplexed. Yeah. Alright. Clearly I can't sort this out, so, yeah, it's a bit of a shame. Alright. So, yeah, sorry about that. I guess we're just gonna have to end it there. So, thank you for bearing with me if anyone's still sticking around. I really do appreciate it. When will I be back? Yeah, I don't know. Hopefully next week. I'm gonna play a bit, in my own time between now and then. And hopefully I'll have World 15 done. And we'll be doing world record attempts runs relatively soon, within the next 2 weeks, ideally. Might be another month, but I don't know. Just have to wait and see. So, yeah, thank you. And hopefully, next stream's not going to be as disrupted as this one was. But yeah. Alright, that's going to be all, so...